Ever get that feeling when you're handed a new project and you just freeze? You're staring at this mountain of work and have no idea where to even start. Well, you're not alone. In this explainer, we're going to tackle skill S5, which is all about turning that chaos into absolute clarity. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly how to build, use, and even critique the structures that control projects, giving you a massive advantage in your project controls apprenticeship. So to make this all real, let's follow the story of Jody. She's a level 6 apprentice at IBIS Stores, and she's in the exact same boat you might be in right now, trying to get her head around the real-world challenges of project controls. So Jody's manager, Rudel, walks in and drops a huge new project on her desk, a brand new loyalty app for IBIS. And yeah, Jody's first reaction is what most of ours would be, total overwhelm. The big question is just screaming in her head, where do I even begin? And that feeling right there, that feeling of being totally lost in the chaos, that is precisely what Skill S5 is designed to destroy. Think of it as your secret weapon for taking a big, scary, messy project and turning it into a step-by-step, crystal clear plan. So, what's Jody's next move? She does something really smart. She reaches out for help. And her mentor, Adam, is about to introduce her to the fundamental tools that are going to bring some serious order to all this chaos. Adam's advice is simple, but it's a game changer. He says, look, Jody, you wouldn't try to build a house without a blueprint, right? Well, in our world, our blueprints are called breakdown structures. These are the tools you use to chop up a massive project into smaller, much more manageable pieces. Now here's where it gets interesting. This project blueprint isn't just one single document. Nope, it's actually made of two key parts that work together to give you the full picture. On one side, you've got the work breakdown structure, or WBS for short. This is the what. It's literally a list of every single thing you need to do to get the project done. Then on the other side, you have the cost breakdown structure, the CBS. This is the how much. It puts a price tag on every single one of those tasks from the WBS to make sure you don't blow the budget. Then Adam introduces the final piece of the puzzle, coding structures. He explains it like this. Think of it like every part in a car having a unique serial number. Well, every task and every cost in your project gets its own unique code. Why? It makes tracking everything incredibly easy, so you never lose sight of a single piece of the project. Okay, so understanding the theory is great, but putting it all into practice, that's where the real learning happens. So let's watch as Adam guides Jody through the actual steps of building her very own project blueprint. He gives her this super clear 4-step method. First, you've got to understand why you need these structures for this specific project. Second, you actually build them. You develop the WBS and the CBS. Third, you implement them using real project management tools. And finally, and this is the part that really shows you've got it, you constantly critique and refine them as you go. And here we go. This is step 2 in action. Jody starts mapping out the WBS for the app. See how that huge goal, loyalty app, gets broken down? First into big chunks like design and development, and then into even smaller, more specific tasks like UI/UX design. Suddenly, that overwhelming chaos is starting to look like a logical, doable plan. Now, Adam throws in a huge pro tip. These structures aren't meant to just sit in a folder somewhere. Their real power is unleashed when you put them into project management software like MS Project or Primavera. This is what brings them to life, linking your plan directly to the schedule and the budget, making tracking almost seamless. So Jody's project is now organized and on track, all thanks to her new blueprint. But her work isn't done. For her apprenticeship, she has to prove she's mastered Skill S5. And that's where her coach, Olivia, steps in. Olivia gives her some absolutely vital advice. She says, doing great work is fantastic, but it's only half the battle. You have to know how to document it properly in your Apprenticeship portfolio. That's the system where you track all your apprenticeship progress. It's all about showing what you know. So what does that great evidence actually look like? Well, Olivia gives her a checklist. You'll need the actual WBS and CBS documents, reports that show your coding system, and definitely screenshots from your software to prove you really used it. But that last one, the written critique report, that's your moment to shine. It's where you analyze a structure, point out what's good, what's bad, and suggest smart ways to improve it. It proves you're not just following instructions, you're thinking strategically. To get Jody ready for her endpoint assessment, the big final exam for the whole apprenticeship, Olivia hits her with a practice question.
And this is exactly the kind of thing they'll ask to see if you really get it. So take a second, how would you answer this?
Olivia doesn't just leave her hanging. She gives her a killer framework for the perfect answer. First, state the goal. What are we trying to achieve? Then, show you're balanced. Point out a strength before you identify a weakness. For example, you might say, the codes for the marketing tasks are all over the place and inconsistent. That's the weakness. Then you propose a clear, smart fix. I'd recommend we standardize all of them with the prefix MKT. See? That shows you can not only spot a problem, but also solve it. It's exactly what they're looking for.
So Jody's journey from feeling totally lost to being confident and in control, that's the whole point of Skill S5. So what did we learn from her story? Let's wrap this up and put all these tools into your toolkit.
Here it is, your S5 toolkit, broken down into 5 core abilities. You can define what all these structures are, you can develop them for any project that comes your way, you can implement them using professional software, you can critique them to make them even better, and you know how to evidence all that amazing work for your portfolio. That right there is the full cycle of mastery.
With Skill S5 under your belt, you're not just a follower anymore. You're the architect. You're the one who can take any complex challenge and draw a clear map to success. So the only question left is, now that you've mastered the blueprint, what are you going to build next?